Hello, beautiful people. I hope that you enjoy this content. I want to share a story time with you because this is something that has come up just recently during this whole quarantine thing. And then I was in a live that really helped me. I really needed to hear this because it just kind of confirmed and it kind of helped me heal a little bit more. So I want to have a story time with you. This is not written down, so this is just straight freestyle from my mouth, so I will not be reading it. So I don't know how long this is going to be. But anyways, I hope you're enjoying the content so far. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And let's get into it. So this is my robbery story. In 2016, I had worked for this company. Now, let's rewind back just a little bit. I initially started working for this company as just a third shift employee. I needed something to do in my free time. I was doing my own thing with writing. And so pretty much it was just something to do. Get me moving, get me out of the house. So I have had some management experience before, and one of the managers had come to me on third shift. He was leaving late, and he was like, I want to give you this. It's equivalent to a supervisor position. And he was like, but however, you won't be able to stay on third shift. You will have to move to second shift. And I'm like, you know what? I could probably juggle some things around. As time went on and I thought about it, I'm like, I could probably juggle some things around and go ahead and take this position. I mean, it's more experience under my belt. And let's go ahead and do it. More money. Hey. So I took the position. This was in a pretty good area. Now, I lived right down the street, so it was convenient for me. As time went on, my boss had retired, and I was told that I knew that I came in early. I knew that I busted my behind at work. I knew that I did a good job for this company and for my position. And I had been there long enough to actually move up. I knew exactly how to do the job. I knew what to do. And anyways, even other managers was telling me, hey, go for this position. You will be awesome in this position. And you do really good here. Go for it. So I'm like, okay, that's what I'll do. And I was told by the store director, who is the person that is over the whole operations of the store, that, yeah, go ahead, go for it. So I'm thinking I have the go ahead. So once I applied for the position, they still kind of played this game with me where it seemed like I would be getting it. And then when it came down to the actual week that manager was leaving, because she had put in, she had pretty much put in her notice that she would be retiring. But when it came to the actual week, I was then faced with, oh, but we didn't show you how to do this. We still have to show you how to do that. So therefore, you can't have this position. And I was frustrated because we had a whole lot of time beforehand to get me the training that I needed in that area. So what I was told is, what we can do is send you to this location. Now, when I started talking about this location just to some of my mentors in that company that was already in the position that I wanted to be in, and they may have worked at a different store, or managers that I was close to, They started telling me, oh, no, 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 girl, don't go to that store. There is women being raped in the parking lot. There is robberies going on. There is this. There's high theft. The employees are disrespectful. And I'm like, I don't want to go there. And so I had expressed this to my boss. I had explained, I don't want to go there. This is what I've been told. And the boss said, everybody has worked there. This is actually kind of like initiation into the management position of the company because I had to be there and this person had gone there and worked there and this. And if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. And I was promised that there was no robbery. There was no raping in the parking lot. The employees were okay. This was just kind of like, lies and tales that people were telling that had never even worked at that store before. So I took her word for it. And I went to that store. And shortly after, I was told that, girl, you shouldn't have had them send you here, because this store is where they automatically place black managers or managers who are very opinionated that bumped heads with their store directors. So they got thrown over into this store as a punishment. And that made me feel some kind of way because I was very, good at my job. And so I just rolled with it. And I had worked there for about a year. And I got really close to my staff and things was really going good for us. Our numbers were good as far as customer service. I was really making a change and I was getting compliments all the time about it. And my actual store director at that location was getting recognized for the good things that we were doing in our service department. And so in 2016, which was the next year, beginning of 2016, I'm at work and we do this thing called changeover. And it's pretty much where all of the self-checkouts, you have to take all of the money out of the self-checkout that the customers have put in for that week, just so the machine doesn't get jammed or anything. You put it in these bins, and then the dispensers that dispense the change, you have to change those too, and you have to put more money in so that they don't run out of change to give back to the customers. So anyways, there's two sections of self-checkout. And we would always start this at a particular time at night on one day of the week. And so we go with this big cart or a cart up here, just a plain cart, and there's a big tote inside. This tote has 6 bags for one section, and then there's another tote that was still locked up in the safe that had 4 bags for the other section. We only did one at a time so that customers could still go through the section that we weren't doing the change out to while we was working on this section. Okay, so we're at the bigger section that has 6 self checkouts. And we take carts, like a line of carts, and we close off that section. And it's usually me and my supervisor. That's over me, but the supervisor that works for me. Okay. So we go over to this section, and the policy is there is a night manager who is supposed to be looking at us and watching out for us while we're doing this. I mean, this is thousands of dollars that we have right now with us. So someone's supposed to be back in like the little fashion department area looking and making sure that we're okay. And so anyways, I had called this lady's extension, and telling her, hey, we're about to do this cash out. Now, this change out usually takes an hour, hour, 15 minutes, okay? So I call her and I let her know, and she says, okay. We continue to go on and do what we have to do. We do like the first set roll of 3, and we're working our way around. Once we get in front of like the podium station that one of my cashiers, she's manning that station, making sure the other side, which is the other ones that we weren't changing out yet, that they were okay, and everything looked good. So she's standing at her little podium, and we're right there next to her, and she says, don't look, don't say anything right now, but there is someone that has on a half a ski mask, and they're looking at you guys really weird right now over in the card and party section, which happen to be directly across from the sets of self-checkout lanes. So I'm like, okay. So I look down at my employee, and she's sitting down on the floor because she's taking these bins out for the dispensers. She's taking the bins out, and we're putting money in. And I said, don't say anything, but I'm going to just play it off like we're laughing. So she starts laughing. I start laughing, and I turn my head really quick, and I look over, and there is this guy staring at us. Just literally, he had like maybe 4 greeting cards in his hand, and he's not even looking at the greeting cards. He's just like moving them behind each other, like boom, boom, boom. Like not even looking at the card, not focusing on a greeting card, just pretty much trying to look occupied while he's looking at us. So I call our security, and I said, hey, we have this guy, and he looks pretty suspect. What can you Are you in the office, in your office where you see the cameras? Can you come out here? And she's like, I'm going to come out there and I'm going to give him the stare, whatever that meant. So she comes in. She was outside. She comes in and she puts her hands on her hip, and she like looks at him like, what do you want? And when I tell you there was 2 ways of exiting the store, well, actually, there were 3 ways, but we had that other side shut down because it was a certain time of night. So there was 2 ways of exiting that store at that time. He could have just went out the front door. No, what he did is he pushed one of our carts out of the way that we had lined up, and he storms out of the little side exit that's pretty much behind our podium where, our cashier would be manning the, self-checkouts. And I'm like, that's weird. And I tell the security, I'm like, you know what? I think you should keep an eye on us, even if you want to go back and look at, be in your little room, your office, while you're looking at the cameras. I said, because if he was just buying greeting cards, he wouldn't care if you were staring at him. Something really upset him, like something got in the way, or you got in the way of a plan he had. And she didn't listen. What she did, she said, okay. Well, actually, she said, okay, I got you. But she didn't listen. What she did is went outside, got back in the car with her boyfriend where she was in the first place. And as soon as that guy saw her do that, I don't know where he was standing outside, but when she left out, she didn't see him, but he saw her. So as soon as he saw her get in that car, he comes back in. And this time he comes in through like the regular entranceway. He comes in, he shoves a cart out of the way, and he puts the gun to my employee's head. And I had to tell him, look, then he points the gun at me. She doesn't have anything you need. All she has is ones in her hand. Now I'm standing here with my hands on the cart. That both of my hands are on the cart that has this big tote of thousands of dollars. And he said, okay, well, I said, well, what do you want? Do you want me to empty this register, which was the podium that I was standing by? And he said, I don't want that, bleep. And I said, what do you want? And he took the totes. Now he grabs the tote and he has it like in one, like under his arm, like holding it. And this tote is pretty heavy, but he was doing it. And he's holding the gun still pointed at me as he's walking backwards out of this door. I was so frustrated. And I call, the extension of security. I tell her what happened. She runs in like Wonder Woman. I mean, you're late now. You could have called the police when this was happening, whatever, but you were outside with your boyfriend in the car. I called the manager that was supposed to be in the fashion area. And she comes up there, oh, if I would have known that, I would have stood in front of the gun for you guys and all this stuff. The company provided me with a counselor, me and my supervisor that was working for me. They provided us a counselor, and that still was not enough. Because I was having these nightmares. The nightmares was just of this guy pushing the cart out of the way and bringing a gun to me. That was this continuous nightmare over and over, days after days. So when I did explain, like, hey, I'm having nightmares about this, could you provide us with the counselor for a little bit longer? They had said, oh, no. We want to give the counselor we want to also provide the counselor with this woman, the woman that was supposed to be in the fashion department watching this go on. And I'm like, what does she need a counselor for? She wasn't even around. And pretty much they were saying she felt sick to her stomach because she thought she was going to lose her job because she didn't follow policy. Let me tell you, I had an employee do something, and it wasn't near thousands of dollars of loss, and she didn't follow policy. And I was pretty much told if she did not sign this paperwork, because I had to constantly send my people through training, just because we dealt with a lot of money, we dealt with lottery, we dealt with Western Union, we dealt with a lot of stuff. So they had these compliance checks and trainings that they had to pass and follow. And so once they were done with their compliance, we would pretty much test them and score them and have them sign this paperwork that they agreed to, what they had been trained on, and they agreed to the policy. Well, she made a hiccup with the Western Union, and it was literally only $80. And I was told by our district manager, if your person did not sign that paper, your job is gone. But you had this woman who, I won't mention race or anything because I don't want to, really magnify that. But I will say she was not in that position where she needed to be. She knew how important this day of the week was. She knew that we were dealing with thousands and thousands of dollars. I did my job telling her to come up front, and she told me she would be there. And this woman was not there. And then she was provided a counselor that we were supposed to have. We were the ones who were robbed gunpoint, guns to our faces. I mean, I was scared that I had other customers on the opposite side. I was scared that one of them would sneeze, one of them would yell, anything could happen. And I thank God because there was a peace at that moment. Because, sometimes when I know this guy's adrenaline was probably pumping, and I was just so scared that somebody would make the wrong sound or the wrong move that could have caused him to pull the trigger, and he did not. And we went through that, and we were told, oh, hold off. She's sick because she didn't follow policy. She's scared that she may lose her job. We're going to offer her the counselor. And I'm like, was she ever told that her job was jeopardized? And she wasn't. So I left the company. And this guy was on foot when he got away with this. They still have not caught him. I am a key witness, and I have only been contacted by detectives one time, and that was just to identify. They still have not caught him. There still has not been a court date. And so my biggest fear, like one of my fears when I went out in public, especially when it's cold outside, is ski masks. I just could not stand someone walking in a fast pace towards me, or walking period towards me, with a ski mask on. And God is so amazing because now we all have to wear masks. Wearing a mask is not uncommon to see right now because of what we're going through. And that has caused my healing. So I do thank God for that, because that was something I just knew I would have to probably struggle with for the rest of my life, and I don't. I also thank Positive Mukbanger for having the live that she did last night, because it helped me heal a little bit more. And guys, I just hope that you enjoy this story time. Tell me what you think about it in the comments. Tell me if you've been through anything similar in the comments. And please like, comment, and subscribe. I love all of you beautiful people. You have a blessed and wonderful day.